This is James Kalm, the guy on the bike. And today we're coming to you from 526 West 26th Street. We're going to go upstairs and look at a fantastic exhibition at Green Naftali called Painting Now and Forever, Part 2. But here in the press release it says, this exhibition was a highly subjective, celebratory survey of contemporary paintings, and it is in this spirit that the current show has been organized. Okay, so this is going to give you a view of some of what the Chelsea hot galleries are considering interesting paintings these days. Now, this is actually a second version of a painting show that happened in 1998. And they make a point of saying that none of the artists in the original show were included in this show, except for Mary Heilman, who was showing with Pat Hearn at the time. And Mary Heilman is now one of the hot artists in New York. This is called Towards an Abstract Icon by the late Paul Thek. Now, he was known because he sort of developed a camp, kitsch sensibility in this use of the light, I think. This is by Laura Owens, Untitled 2006. Acrylic 30 by 33 inches. I believe Laura is a California painter, and this triptych is by Paul Thek, Untitled 1966 to 1970. And you really do get a 1970s kind of pop psychedelic sense from this. This is by Paul Sharits, Pasolo 5C. Basically, we've got little lines, little squirts of acrylic paint kind of woven onto the canvas. This large piece is by Kai Althoff and Irwin Allen, Moving Circus 2008. It really puts me in mind of Stephen Mayne, very popular local critic and great painter. There's over 30 some odd paintings in this show, so that we're not going to be able to focus in on any of them. But I'll try to hit some of the highlights. This is kind of a still life called Gallows by Merlin Carpenter. So we've got kind of a Picabia-esque face with the overlaid easel. And then we've got the actual easel here. This is doing what a lot of painters are calling contextualizing. This piece is by Christopher Wool, Untitled 2003. And if we look close, we can see that this is actually a silk screen. We've got the little Ben-Day dots. And it's interesting because it's a silk screen of a very smushy, brushy abstraction. I think Christopher might be one of the more interesting painters in the show. This is Green Relief 2007 by Ellsworth Kelly. And for some reason they've got this in a little side room with no light on it. That is a nice slab of green. This is Manta Ray by William Leavitt. And this goes to what I was talking about of the contextualizing the work. They've actually built a little environment they include with the piece. little planter in the plant. And we've got a kind of a thrift shop linen frame on this. Here's another painting by one of the It Girl artists in New York. This is another Karen Kalimnik called Glactia 2000 water-soluble oil color on canvas. And Karen definitely has got one of the most amazing careers going in the New York art scene. And now you know why. There are a couple of pieces by R.H. Quaytman, and I believe this is Harvey Quaytman's daughter. He was a very well-known geometrical formalist painter who died about 5 years ago. He's got sequins and a kind of a grid pattern. This piece is silkscreen gesso on wood. Kind of a repeating circular motif. It gives you a nice moire effect. I think this is the expressionists' room. Got a lot of very gooby, thick, sludgy oil paint here. These are our old friends, Gelitin. Gelitin is actually a collaborative group of about 4 Swiss artists, I believe. This is Untitled Mona Lisa 2008, plastiline on wood. Also the Mona Lisa, 74 by 53.5 inches. Nice, you've sort of got 3 or 4 Mona Lisa faces stuck together here. Let's look at those hands. I wonder if this will start to sag and droop in a couple of years. Keep it away from the radiator. I think these guys are having way too much fun to be taken seriously. This is 2008, Untitled by Bjarne Melgaard, and we saw some examples of her work in the Armory show. For some reason she's got this dated 1974. It's kind of a common trope these days with a lot of artists recapturing the 70s. This is by Isa Genskin. 1992, lacquer on canvas. A lot of these artists are Europeans, and I get the feeling that this is a way for these galleries to audition a lot of these painters that are not so well known in New York. This is by Stephen Prina. Title Push Comes to Love, Yellow, 1999. Oh, this is kind of nice, the way the yellow paint spray breaks up on this. This is by Ugo Rondinon, called Juni 2008, Juni 2003, Juni 2008-08. This is titled, In late October, a pronghorn pauses briefly on a prairie just before the wind becomes mixed with rain and snow. By Ol Han. When I'm wondering how Ol Han happened to capture the curator's attention. So this is James Kalm reporting on Painting Now and Forever Part 2 at Green Naftali. Thanks, Kate.